Listen, what's going on to you, Sagittarius? How y'all doing? So look, you have the Eight of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, and the King of Swords. So these three cards right here for you, Sagittarius, um, just had a little run-in with a nasty. You know what I'm saying? I just, just had a little run-in with a real slick mouth individual, or whatever the case may be. Look, look, look. I ain't even gonna hang out with that person anymore. Just had a little run-in with a little goofy. But anyway, today. But anyway, okay. So for you, Sagittarius, right? The Eight of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles represents how a lot of you are essentially walking away from one situation because you, Sagittarius, don't want to interact with anybody that does not appreciate you, that does not appreciate you and cannot show that they appreciate you, right? The King of Swords represents because you're very aware as to what exactly is really going on. You love the awareness that you have. And you, Sagittarius, know that you, Sagittarius, know that you're loved, right? You love yourself. Your family loves you. The people in your life who love you, they love you. And a lot more of you, Sagittarius, understand this, and you understand that you got you, right? And the divine got you. So you have a lot more self-respect, right? You have a lot more self-respect. And what I mean by that is, you're not going to take the nonsense that people just give you, right? They're going to have to actually interact with you in a way where it speaks to the respect that they have for themselves, that they extend to you. Because when we're talking about love and when we're talking about showing somebody respect, we have to have self-respect first before we can extend that level of self-respect to another person. So this is why it is that I be saying that, you really got to get to a point where you got to stop getting into difficulties or like arguments or like beefs, like verbal beefs with people, and just like little scuffles with people and stuff like this, little disagreements. There's nothing wrong with inherently disagreeing with somebody or something if you don't really agree, but don't argue about it, right? Or don't try to convince anybody of doing anything, because as an example, a lot of these alphas, right, supposed alphas, will talk about how it is that, they have to like get the person back in line and stuff like this. And it's like, look, at the end of the day, what it really comes down to is the person is playing a game because they don't have respect for you, because they don't have respect for themselves. They playing a game with everybody. Because if you were real alpha, how many times do you have to tell somebody to stop doing something, right? And maybe this could be a better alternative before they straighten out. You understand what I'm saying? Before they actually be like, oh, okay. You got to understand, if a person cheats on you, right? And you got to like tell the person to not cheat, or like be the boss of them, or like boss up on them, and like, you know what I'm saying, try to really play that game of don't cheat and stuff like this, and they do it from time to time, that means that you're not a real alpha. That means that the fact that you even engage in such a way like that, you know what I'm saying? So it's the same principle when it comes to getting to know somebody. Like, a lot of you Sagittarius understand that there is no, that it's futile, it's nihilism, there's no point in you Sagittarius having to like negotiate, constantly pull the coattails of someone who is often or is habitually disrespecting you, right? They're making a habit out of it. Habitual. They're making a habit out of it. I hope YouTube don't think like I'm cussing or none of that. But like, you realize that like going back and forth and like this type of stuff is not good. You feel what I'm saying? So the thing is that the Page of Wands and the Star card right here is about how, since that's the case, a lot of you Sagittarius, y'all are in a situation where, like, for you, Oh, I thought the orb started to show up. That's dust. I was not about to be like, can y'all please leave? But yeah, so as I was saying, the Page of Wands and the Star card right here is about how because you have your energy back that a lot of people stole from you. Because the thing about it is that the page represents youth, and it represents it represents youth, right? It represents you, Sagittarius, feeling whole again, right? Complete. It's not just like broken pieces that, you know, people take with them. They use you, they treat you like trash, and then because they you know, they treat you like trash, you feel empty. You feel like there's a piece of you that's missing. It's none of that. You, Sagittarius, feel young again, right? And this is what I'm talking about. We got to get back to a point where we feel youthful, right? It's about being youthful, but with wisdom. And the thing is that the strength is, the Star card is about how it is that us as, you as Sagittarius, you're not taking on that emotional baggage. You're still willing to get to know other people. Still. The Ten of Pentacles and the High Priestess is about how, since that's the case, a lot of you very much so have to be in a position, and you are in a position of just understanding, you Sagittarius, just understanding your own power, your own positioning. Like, you know, as I said when I began this reading, right, when I said that I just had a run-in with somebody and they was going crazy on me for no reason, I ain't got to put up with that, and I'm not going to put up with that. I'm not going to see this person anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like, look, they don't bring anything to the table anyway. So it's like, you know, to me, so it's like, that's a lot of flexing. That's a lot of talk for somebody that don't even ask me any questions. You know what I'm saying? Don't know me. Like, they don't, just useless. They don't be asking questions. They don't get to know you. And it's the same thing too. The Ten of Pentacles, making sure that you are accounting for everything that happens to you, how you interact with other people. You Sagittarius are making sure that the way that you interact with others, you have an emotional budget. You're just not going to go over that emotional budget. You're just not willing to do that. Because if a person, you know, wanted to interact with you, nah. If a person wanted to interact with you, they supposed to, you know, how can I say this, right? Like, you Sagittarius are just not putting up with, like, the disrespect. You're not putting up with people trying to come in and get something from you all the time. And they gimme, right? They got all these demands about what they want. So the High Priestess and the Justice right here is about how you Sagittarius, you just not gonna get out of character. You're not gonna get upset about that. You're not gonna get angry about that. So you leaving them alone before you Sagittarius crash out and, like, say something that's really disrespectful, that put this person in their sad bag. You know what I mean? It put them in their emotional bag. Because you Sagittarius don't really want that kind of issue where now you said something that truly has offended them in such a way where now it's like, you Sagittarius end up feeling bad about that a little bit later, because even though they deserved it, you ain't wanna, you still gotta also live that down that you did that. The Seven of Cups and the Tower is about how, since that's the case, a lot of you just take a step back from all of that, The Tower, the Seven of Cups and the Tower. The Seven of Cups and the Tower represents ultimately You know, if there's one thing that you Sagittarius know or beginning to understand on a deeper level, is that when you have self-respect, a lot of the stuff that those people try to do that would get you up on your nerves when you were younger, that would have you crashing out, you don't crash out like that anymore, because they can't get you upset. And the reason why they can't get you upset is because you have self-respect. You have a healthy self-respect. It's not like it's inflated where it's fake. It's not super small to the point where it's fake. It's a healthy form of self-respect. You know, if a person doesn't come in with some sort of basic human respect, right? Like they respect your life, they respect your dignity and everything like that, then you ain't got to hang out with them. You don't have to interact with them. You ain't got to kick it with them. You ain't got to engage. You don't have to. And the thing about it is, because you have so much self-respect, a lot of the things that people say to you, and you could, and not only, let me finish this one thought, because I got a million thoughts, right, get off my chest about the position that you Sagittarius are in. Not only is it that you Sagittarius, it's not going to, right, you're good and it's not going to work on y'all, because, right, the things that they say ain't going to affect you the same way that it used to. Not just with them, because you may not even know them for a long time, but I'm saying in a general sense. But what they do and the games that they play ain't even gonna work on you either, because you see it coming, because you got self-respect. See, part of, you know, why it is that you may have like decided to part of the reason why it is that you Sagittarius in the first place, right, did so much for somebody that didn't appreciate it or played you in the past, was because you didn't necessarily know what was happening. Or maybe you did know, but you were ignoring it. Now you don't ignore stuff like that. You address it, like, what's up with this? You know? And then you ain't even got to involve them as to what's up with this. You just make this unilateral decision to stop hanging out with them. So now it's a situation where they gotta find somebody new, or they don't get anything. So let's clarify the justice. So, Three of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, Magician, Eight of Cups, and then you have the Five of Wands. So to clarify the justice, so the Three of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician right here represents how a lot of you Sagittarius, very much so, you've been heartbroken before. You know what heartbreak feels like. You've been heartbroken many times before, and that's another thing about being heartbroken. Like, you know, if you learn it from your mistakes, heartbroken a million times up until you stop being so heartbroken, because you realize how full of it, right? Like, people are out here grasping at straws. You know, like, what I mean when I say that they grasping at straws, I'm talking about like the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician. They're out here trying to, like, the reasons that they do stuff is really stupid. It don't make any sense. And the thing is that the Eight of Cups and the Five of Wands is about how a lot of you essentially are in a situation where you are a lot better now. You worked out that problem with yourself. The Eight of Cups, you worked that problem out with yourself, spiritually, emotionally, externally, right, as well. But internally more than you have externally, right? Like, externally, you've been taking better care of yourself, but that's 10% of the work. The 90% of the work has been internal, where you have been spiritually getting your stuff together. And the thing about it is that the Five of Wands is about how a lot of you very much so are a work in progress. And you're not going to let anybody knock you out of really this new state, this new mental state that you have, where you good. You got it. You good. Like, you see it now. You see what I see. You know what I mean? Peace.